Of course, we know home football this weekend, home basketball on Monday. The women start next week, too, on Wednesday in Carmichael. But, Adam, there's plenty of other action occurring. What is up out there?
Well, first, let's catch up on what's already happened this week. Jones mentioned the East Lake Cup, and we told you that was a stacked field. That's the final four finalists from men's golf this past year in the NCAA competition.
So I watched a lot of this.
Okay, good.
They play one day of stroke play to then be set up as the 1, the 2, the 3, or the 4 seed. Tar Heels were the 2 seed after stroke play. Florida State had the best score after stroke play. So then that was on Monday. Then Tuesday it was 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3, which had Florida State playing Florida and Carolina against Georgia Tech. Remember, Georgia Tech was the team that knocked Carolina out in the national semifinals match play-wise last year. Tar Heels won it. It was super competitive. They won 3-2. 2 of the matches, it was 2-1 for a long time with 2 matches in extra holes. And if I'm not mistaken, it was Maxwell Ford, David's twin brother, that won the deciding point for Carolina in like 21 or 22 holes or something to send Carolina to the finals. Then the Tar Heels, it's never easy, but they did a really good job against Florida State with Austin Greaser locking up the final point, the deciding point for Carolina. There was still a match on the course. I actually think it again was Maxwell Ford who was going extra holes. They ended up calling that a tie because it had already been decided. So I think the final against Florida State was 3.5 to 1.5 for the championship. So congratulations to the Tar Heels.
That's the 3rd time in 5 starts that the men's golf team has won the tournament in which they were participating this fall.
And they were in 2nd in St. Andrews, and I think the other event they played, I believe they were 2nd place as well. So it has been a very productive fall for the Tar Heels. Now both the men and the women heading into the downtime. The winter season is the no competition time for the golf programs, and then they'll head into the spring. And both of them playing well. I mean, I think the men legitimately believe they are a national champion quality team because they are, and the women have taken some big steps forward. I don't know if they're quite to that level just yet, but they have been in the tournament the last couple years. I think they're now trying to qualify or get past the regional round, take that next step, but they're very clearly in the process of growing and moving their program forward as well.
Few other teams in the postseason right now in the fall. That includes field hockey. They're at the ACC tournament in Charlottesville, but Virginia's not there because the Tar Heels sent them home.
Nice win. Remember, Virginia had beaten Carolina near the end of the regular season, the only ACC loss that the Tar Heels had in a game that they led, right, Adam? 2-0?
That's right.
And then they ended up losing. This game, Carolina was up 2-0, and I think Virginia tied it. Is that right?
It got to 2-1.
Okay, and then Carolina got up because I know each team scored like within a minute of each other at one point in the second half, so I didn't know which team scored first. So to go to Charlottesville, beat a team that beat you, and Virginia was hot. They had just come back, a big comeback to beat somebody the day before, maybe Syracuse. Yeah. So quality win. I don't know. Who are they playing for the championship, though? I don't know.
They are playing Duke on Friday at 7 o'clock.
Well, those two just played a heated match a week ago.
Correct. In Chapel Hill.
Yeah.
Carolina won that one.
2-1, I think.
Yes.
So ACC title on the line. Let's go. That'll be good.
So that's
Friday 7.
Friday night.
Tonight, 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock, Charlottesville, Virginia. So if you're in the area, go see the Tar Heels. Also in the postseason right now is men's soccer. They had an offensive explosion.
Floodgates open.
On Wednesday, they hosted Virginia Tech. That's kind of the opening round of the ACC championships. Tar Heels won 4-1.
When they were down 1-0, Virginia Tech scored like 90 seconds into the match. And on like a real kind of odd play, it was a giveaway by Carolina in its defensive territory. It was a really nice play by the guy from Virginia Tech. And Tar Heels, though, come back. I think they had the lead by halftime. They were up 2-1. Ernest Bawa had 2 goals, right?
He did. Kenzie Erman got the first goal for Carolina, and then Ernest Bawa scored a couple.
So they take on Wake Forest now, Sunday night?
At Wake Forest on Sunday. Wake Forest is good.
Yeah.
That'll be at 4 o'clock on the ACC network.
Well, I mean, the thing about men's soccer is, they've been in every single match they've played. If they could it just feels like maybe get over a hump a little bit offensively. I mean, it's not like they're getting outclassed by anybody. If they lose, it's like 1-0 or 2-1, and they rarely give up 2. I mean, most of the time they're not giving up more than a goal. So if they could just get over the hump a little bit, they are right up there with anybody.
Carolina's 8-3-5 overall. I think they've only given up more than 1 goal one time this year.
That sounds right.
So, as Jones said, the Tar Heels are capable of beating anyone. If you score 4 goals in every game, I feel really good about the Tar Heels.
Yeah.
The women's tennis ITAs are going on out in San Diego. Carolina's got a lot of individuals competing in that. Reese Brantmeyer, for example, Riley Trans out there, Fiona Crawley and Carson Tangillig not, because they competed so much over the summer. In order to be in this, you have to have won a tournament this fall, and they just didn't play as much. But with the depth that Brian Calbus has assembled, Carolina's still got plenty of competitors out there in San Diego. That's going on as you hear this.
That is impressive when arguably your top 2 players, and Reese Brantmeyer certainly in that conversation as well. But when you've got, let's put it this way, when 2 of your best have been doing too many other awesome things, right, and you still send multiple people that could win it, you are a wagon.
Kind of like Aranza Vasquez,
who's
an individual
diving wagon.
Swimming is at South Carolina this weekend. They're down in Columbia on Friday, and then volleyball's at home on Friday against Virginia Tech. The volleyball regular season is endless.
Gosh, it is a long year.
Then, of course, football on Saturday, then volleyball back at home. On Sunday, they'll play the Deacs at 1 o'clock on ACC Network Extra.
So, busy weekend. A lot of postseason still awaiting women's soccer NCAA berth as well. So, we'll find that out in the next couple of days. So, still a long way to go here for the fall sports in Chapel Hill. And that means winter sports getting started. So that means wrestling. That means gymnastics. Of course, both basketballs starting to get moving here too.
Fencing's been underway.
Yep.
They're slowly getting started.